So, astronaut Sunita Williams went into space and was scheduled to return to planet Earth in the middle of June. However, she's still stuck in the International Space Station, and this over 50 days delay has not dampened her spirits. In fact, she's enjoying Olympics like most of us. So we have someone with us here who actually met Miss Williams in 2016, and who yeah, and she told you that International Space Station is her home.
Yes, astronaut Sunita Williams is very unique, very brave. She's there at the International Space Station even as we speak. Maybe she's going overhead India just
Might be, she might be.
But yes, when I met her and we spoke at length, she's told many things, and one of the things she said was, space is her second home. So when she's on a third visit, when she's in space just now, and when people say she's stranded, I don't think she's stranded. She's in her second home, minus her dog, which she loves, and she says she enjoys being with her dog more than her husband. So
She's like me.
She is in the International Space Station, working very hard as an astronaut, not stranded. Yes.
So she's not stuck, she's just on a very extended vacation.
It's not a vacation, they are working very hard.
Workation.
Astronauts, having them on the International Space Station is very expensive. So she flew as a test pilot on the Boeing Starliner spacecraft, which is on its maiden flight. And she's helped design that Boeing Starliner, and she is the pilot of that mission. And because it is the first flight and a test flight, glitches were expected.
Right.
So it was initially to be a 10-day mission, but now it has extended to more than 50 days. But Sunita Williams is safe, and she is there at the International Space Station along with 8 other astronauts. Sunita Williams herself ran a marathon in space, the Boston Marathon, when it was happening on Earth on her second visit to the space station. She ran the marathon inside the space station and completed it in a little over 4 hours. So she is an athlete in herself, and she is currently, and the other astronauts, enjoying and participating in the massive Olympic spirit which is happening in Paris, and also where India is doing well.
Yes, I think we already have a bronze in air rifle, and let's see what happens in the future. And coming back to Miss Williams, she went on a maiden flight. It was a test flight, human test flight for the Boeing Starliner. It has gone on an Atlas rocket. So you mentioned glitches were expected. Now, of course, did they expect it will be this long, or?
No, they never expected, because the return date was never confirmed, but it was said that it will be a 10-day mission, roughly a 10-day mission, though the return date was never given. But one did not expect that it will go on for more than 50 days. And there is a very specific reason why the mission is being extended. Some of the thrusters on the Boeing Starliner have not performed as expected. There's been helium leaks on the Boeing Starliner, but all of these are on the service module. So the Boeing Starliner has 2 parts, a service module and the crew module. And the service module, when the Boeing Starliner comes back to Earth, when they are close to the Earth, the service module will be jettisoned and the crew module will come back. So all the testing that needs to be done has to be completed for the service module while they are still in space, because that will not be recovered.
Right.
That is why it has taken long, and they have tested. And the update the US Space Agency has given and Boeing has given is that the thrusters have performed to their peak level. And they also did a hot test with the Boeing Starliner attached to the International Space Station. They are assessing the results, and very soon we may hear the final results. But at no stage, let me highlight that Sunita Williams is not safe. She is very safe. There are 2 spaceships docked at the International Space Station, the Soyuz module, and the Crew Dragon. If there is an emergency, astronauts can come back using that.
Right.
So anybody who thinks that she is stranded and will not come back, that should be assuaged. But the main thing is, because they went on a test flight on a Boeing Starliner, the return should ideally happen on a Boeing Starliner, because that
Right.
completes the trial for this,
Right.
and it opens up the second commercial launch vehicle which NASA wanted. That will open it up. So that the endeavor is to try and bring them back on the Boeing Starliner. And the way the tests have gone, it almost seems that the Boeing Starliner could be used. And my own instinct is before the middle of August, they should be back, because there's another crew
Right.
ready to go
Right.
and join on the International Space Station.
Right, and as you mentioned, the commercial flight, the whole reason behind this human test flight is also to open up a whole new world of tourism, which is space tourism. And there are chances that Boeing Starliner or even SpaceX and all of these people will be collaborating with NASA to
No,
make
already
this.
tourists are going up and down on this.
But to make
they're
it
being
more-
to make it more accessible.
Yes.
And the Boeing Starliner can accommodate people who are going up merely as tourists and coming back. So that's not an issue at all. Once the Boeing Starliner does that, it will happen. But currently, the endeavor is to test the Boeing Starliner fully. It's a very ergonomically designed vehicle, and astronauts themselves have designed it. Sunita Williams was herself part of the design team. So it is something which is performing, but there were glitches.
Yes.
And they're trying to find out what the glitches are and solve it. But Sunita Williams has continued to do work at the International Space Station. She did which I call is a little bit of gardening there. She has helped change equipment. They also did some testing of using ultrasound devices, how the body blood flow performs. And I'm sure in her current third space trip, and she's already a veteran of space trips.
Yes, exactly.
With over 300 plus days in space. I'm sure she's enjoying the fish curry which she has taken as her special meal on this particular spaceship, on this trip. And that was confirmed to me by NASA.
Okay.
That her special dish for this trip is fish curry. On her earlier missions, last time when I spoke to her, the special dish she carried was a samosa. So, Antariksh mein samosa, and
Yeah.
only Sunita Williams can manage to do that.
Cannot cut away from her Indian roots, fish curry and samosa.
Sure, but her father was born in Mehsana in Gujarat, anatomist, a physician, and then he shifted to America. He married a Slovakian, and Sunita is a daughter to Deepak Pandya, Dr. Deepak Pandya. And she maintains her Indian roots, and she visited Gujarat last time she came.
Yes.
And on her last visit, she did carry the Bhagavad Gita, and she told me that her lucky charm is Lord Ganesh, and she had promised that she would carry her lucky charm, Lord Ganesh, into space. And I'm sure it's that lucky charm, Lord Ganesh, which is working in her favor, because not only is she brave, she's also somebody who's very deft in trying to figure out the best thing for the Boeing Starliner.
Right.
Because it is really, in a way, her own baby.
Right. I think she was also involved in the naming process and...
Yes. She named the mission Calypso.
Yes.
Because she was very fond of the series, and Calypso is the deep sea module. I'm forgetting the name of the deep sea farer, but when we were kids, we used to watch those, and the deep sea vehicle was called Calypso. And that's why she named it Calypso. But right now, on the space station, they are doing activities, and being on the space station, having extra hands, capable extra hands in Butch Wilmore and
Yes.
Sunita Williams is a very good thing. NASA and Boeing both say that. And there are 7 other astronauts who continue to do work, and 4 more are going. So we should soon see Sunita Williams back on terra firma, and
Yes.
it should be a happy feeling, and there should be no worry. She will definitely be back.
For NDTV, this was Anviti Singh with Pallab Bagla.
Thanks a lot.